Hey everybody, I'm Brian Kevin. I'm the managing editor of Down East Magazine, and I'm standing on a boat called Sea Glass right off of Vinyl Haven on what's turning out to be kind of a beautiful day. And we're here because we want to tell you about an event that we have coming up this summer. It's on July 7th and it's called the Lobster Roll World Championship. It's in Portland, it's at Thompson Point, and some of you maybe are thinking, oh man, that's a lot like the Lobster Roll event last year. We did do a Lobster Roll event last year, and if you're like me, you were at that Lobster Roll event, you had a beer in your hand, you were enjoying yourself, and suddenly all hell broke loose. As some of you may know, there was what we call a microburst, a massive storm. We all had to evacuate. It was a lot of fun in retrospect, but kind of crazy at the time. We learned some things from the way we did it last year, and this year's event has a lot of changes. Cool changes. Not the least of which is that it's going to be indoors, and everybody who comes is going to get to sample lobster rolls from 10 different vendors. I'll tell you who they are in a second. And you get to vote. You get to vote for your favorite lobster roll. But you might also be asking yourself, Brian, where does my lobster roll come from? Where does it begin? And that's why we're out here today, standing here with Captain Richie Walker and sternman Dylan Smith. And we're pulling up a couple of traps.
It's been a pretty cold winter. We'll see what we do.
Pretty cold winter, but a beautiful spring day. So yeah, let's see what's waiting for us, and maybe I can ask you guys a few questions then about what you're up to. So what are you looking for when you decide whether one of these is big enough to keep, or?
We have a gauge dictated to us by the state. It has to be bigger than that width that gauge is. So you got to measure straight across from his eye socket to his back, and that one there is illegal.
It's your lucky day, fella.
Because it goes down over his back, it has to be up on his back to be legal lobster.
Okay, okay.
This is a female lobster that she has. Her flippers are very dainty and very small.
All right.
Compared to the male lobster that has much bigger flippers, and the appendages here is different than here.
Huh. From the standpoint of somebody who wants to eat one, do I care whether or not I'm biting into a female or a male at some point?
No, I think they all taste the same.
Richie, how long you been fishing?
Well, I started out as a child. My father started me about 7 or 8 years old. I put 4 years in the Navy, and I've been fishing all my life. I'm 67 years old.
You grew up on Vinyl Haven?
Born there and grew up there.
Yeah. Dylan, how about you?
I grew up in Rockport, but I've been fishing with Richie for going on 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And never looking back, and love it.
We have 10 competitors lined up for this year's Lobster Roll World Championship, curated from among applicants that included lobster roll purveyors from Maine, from all over the country, and even from abroad. The slate represents a wide geographic and stylistic range. For starters, we've got freshies from Park City, Utah, who took the 2017 title when judges picked their lobster roll from among last year's competitors. This year, you vote, and you can bet all the Mainers are looking forward to bringing the title back home. We've got Bob's Clam Hut from Kittery and now also Portland, Shannon's Unshelled from Booth Bay Harbor, High Roller Lobster Company from Portland, the Greeks of Peaks from Portland, and Congdon's Donuts. Yeah, Congdon's Donuts of Wells has a lobster roll. There are also a few competitors from away, including Summer Shack from Cambridge, Massachusetts, which was started by the famed lobster chef Jasper White, Beetle Cat from Atlanta, Georgia, Burgundy Square Cafe from Venice, Florida, and all the way from Paris, France, Homer Lobster, a small Parisian lobster stand that'll be joining us at Thompson's Point in Portland. We're taking this thing international. First of all, going to hold the whole thing indoors at Thompson's Point so we don't have to worry about the weather like we did last year. We are also going to cap the ticket sales. So there's going to be no day of ticket sales. Much smaller crowd than what we had out there at this similar event last year. And all of the 500, 600 or so people who come in are going to have the opportunity to vote on their favorites. So it's a democratic process. You get to taste the lobster rolls. You get to vote on the one you like the best. The single most authentic place to eat a lobster roll. Thompson's Point is good.
On the lobster tank.
Standing at the on the tank on the sea glass is the best. Is this awkward for you guys to be sitting right next to these? I hope I'm not making you uncomfortable. I'm gonna go
Well,
for it.
I'm not too proud to have a bite. Looks
No,
really good to me.
Not at all. Cheers. Here's to summer.
Good.
If you're a VIP, you're buying a $250 ticket. That gets you all these lobster rolls to eat. You get beer and wine. The regular tickets are $99. That's a regular judge's ticket. That's everybody who comes. $99 gets you a chance to enjoy these lobster rolls, a chance to vote, a chance to enjoy some music by Erica Brown and the Bluegrass Connection. There are going to be circus performances. There's going to be beer and wine for purchase, obviously. There's going to be a pop-up store full of Maine-made goods, Maine artisans and artists and craftspeople that have their things available. And kind of like going out to get that first lobster roll, it's just a big old social event and a great way to kick off the summer. So we can't wait to see you there. We want to make sure that we have a chance to thank all the sponsors of the Lobster Roll World Championship, because we have some folks that are helping make this possible, and we couldn't do it without them. They include Ready Seafood, the Maine Lobster Marketing Collaborative, Blewett, Blueberry Sparkling Wine, DL Geary Brewing Company, and 98.9 WCLZ. Thanks guys for making this possible, and we can't wait to see you on July 7th.